And
then we went too far, guys.
No, we didn't go too far.
Oh my God, dude, there's like spoiled meat or something's going on. What the f? And I look over at Nsima and he has the biggest smile on his face. Dude, you ripped so bad on the plane.
I got to work out with Tom Segura. Everybody got to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been helping him with his diet and stuff like that now. So that's been really interesting. We're going back and forth a lot.
The narrative currently is you must believe women. She's the one who laid hands. She's the one who threw a fucking bottle at this man's hand and chopped off his finger.
There's enough of those movies.
But still, like he lost multiple contracts with different groups because of an allegation.
Because Johnny Depp is suing her, it like drew more attention to it.
Public sentiment is by far on the side of Johnny.
Let me break some news to you people. Relationships should be pretty fucking easy. Andrew, what's the deal with this tomato diet? Are you going on it?
Oh, I'm thinking about it. I mean, summer's coming up, so I'm just like, wait, Kim Kardashian lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks.
Do you guys think that there is a situation where two individuals who are in a relationship should be yelling at each other? Like literally yelling?
Outside of sex, it's probably not going to be very beneficial.
Hey!
Just pissed me off the way he was just like, if you're old, you probably should still get everything.
People are probably wondering, what is Andrew talking about right now? So you got to start from the beginning.
No, I don't want to, because I don't know if they're still censoring shit.
Oh, yeah.
You won't be censored.
I won't.
It's fucking Cinco de Mayo, bro.
I know, there's no rules.
You get a free pass today.
And then we went too far, guys.
No, we didn't go too far. Literally, no. At my grandmother's
Was that racist? I'm sorry.
It wasn't. Yeah. Let me tell you something.
It kind of was.
A little bit.
Kind of was.
Okay, that was what you did.
The Mexican hat. It was kind of racist.
Okay. No.
It's fun.
Everyone loves it, though.
I can't wait for Owen to get the footage because my grandma's birthday party.
Oh.
When everyone was dancing, all the Africans are dancing. One thing we do is we go, oh, we do that shit when everyone's dancing in a group. So it's like, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But we literally go, oh, but we do that.
But like, if I did it, like, it'd be like, sir?
If you got in on the party and you were like, you'd be part of it.
If I guess
we'd be like, let's go, Andrew.
Everyone just stops and looks at Andrew.
I'm still the only one dancing. Like, I thought we were...
This is the
Andrew's
thing.
like crip walking.
Yeah.
Like, what in the fuck is that guy? Who brought this guy?
Dog. I think that if you can only, it's only a problem if the people that were within the culture are like, dog, that's wrong. Yeah. Andrew, was me doing the a problem?
I'm just fucking with you.
Okay then. My boy here thinks it's okay. It's okay. And was Mark doing the cucaracha? Was that also
That was good. Hey, I'm all for it. We're celebrating.
Let's go.
Yeah, the day that my great uncle fucked up the French. He legit was.
Is that Cinco de Mayo's history?
Yeah. So the Battle of Puebla. And
why the French? Aren't they people of love?
Well, they are now because they got their ass kicked. I'm just kidding.
Because they weren't good at that shit. So they're like, let's try something different.
General Ignacio Zaragoza was the one leading that fight.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Swear. Yeah.
So that's really your uncle?
I'm going to claim it.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, no, that's family.
Are we going to have him on the show?
He's probably not doing much these days. Mm-hmm. Probably retired.
Yeah, check in with him.
Yeah.
Wait, pause. Is he alive? No,
there's no way.
Okay. I don't know the dates. I know it was like in the 1800s or something.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the date either, but no, he's toast. But one thing, so I just walked into this bathroom, reminded me yesterday when I walked in the bathroom after you blew it up, and I was like, oh God. Yeah. But then I got a flashback. I think we were flying back from either Atlanta or from Ohio to Atlanta from the Arnold. I'm like dozing off. I can't sleep on the plane. So like I kind of doze off and then I snap out of it, doze off, snap out of it. I'm dozing off. And then something just like slaps me across the face. So what the fuck? And I'm looking down. I'm like, dude, there's like a ghost in here or something. All of a sudden the heat rose and I'm like, oh my God, dude, there's like spoiled meat or something's going on. What the fuck? And I look over at Nsima and he has the biggest smile on his face. Dude, you ripped ass so bad on the plane. And I got a flashback yesterday when I went to the bathroom. I was like, oh my God, it smells the same. It was so bad.
It had heat to it?
Dude, no, it was so weird because I thought something was physically there. Like I couldn't It was strange, dude. It was. Oh, look at that! You didn't even spill.
Yeah, no, it needs to mix a little more.
Dude, I love watching you make your concoctions every day. You got Bub's Collagen Protein. You had some Within You. This is the whey protein in there as well.
It's a thickie.
And the salted caramel.
So every day I do the MCT oil powder, and now I do the collagen protein, and then the
because we got 60 days, right?
60 days
challenge.
Salted caramel Within You hydration. It's so good.
You know, I did the MCT oil this morning at home, so I didn't want to double it up because
you'll be fine.
I don't want to shit my pants.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Too much MCT. But yeah, man, no, like, you know, we had Sean from Bubs on, and he was like, dude, do the collagen consistently, because, you know, collagen protein is like creatine. You know, it's one of those things you don't really feel, but you know how effective it can probably be. So because you don't feel it like you do pre-workout, you don't take it consistently. So I'm going to start taking this collagen consistently, because like Gabrielle Lyon has also been like, collagen protein is super beneficial. So
you can look young like me if you keep up on that collagen, Nsima.
You getting all those comments, Mark. Don't let it get to your head, bro.
Yeah.
You know, over time, you know, as you get older, your body stops making as much collagen as it used to, and some of the byproducts of collagen. So why not mix it in? Why not give it a shot? Tell them how they can save on some Bubs.
Absolutely. Yeah. So pick up some collagen protein over at bubsnaturals.com. And then at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your entire order. I seriously though, like the collagen protein, I do 3 scoops right now. It's so cool. Like you watch it just dissolve into the coffee. It just fades into nothing.
See how he slipped that in there? How he does 3 scoops?
I do 3 scoops.
He's always touting that he's better than us.
No,
I did 2 scoops this morning and 2 scoops right now.
Okay.
See,
so I'm better than you.
That's I mean, how are we really? Is that the metric?
You scoop some collagen protein.
Well, because Sean had said or I think it was TJ, about filling up this whole gas tank or whatever, and so he was telling you to do 40 grams.
Because I'm heavy.
So I'm like, well, I'm gonna do 30 grams because I want to be close. So yeah, I do 30 grams, and then I do the MCT oil powder, and it's freaking delicious. Highly recommend it. Again, bubsnaturals.com, promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your order. Highly recommend it.
Those guys were great, man.
They're cool.
What an insane story about his buddy Bub.
Yeah.
Really, really cool that they shared all that. And it was great to have those guys in person. And then what a blockbuster of a day. I have this weird thing about how's that? It's all over your face.
Bro. All right, yo, guys. You got this. This is so clutch in this.
Yeah.
This and the protein, because the collagen protein's unflavored, but then the vanilla, this is the way. It tastes really good. In coffee, dog, it's like I have to slow myself down. And then listen, guys.
It's a one sipper.
It is a one sipper, but this is the thing. I think Bubs, whenever they send out product, they send this with it. This is actually necessary because I've done it with a knife.
Put that thing on your butthole too. It's amazing.
Of course you would.
Which side though? Just for the vibration or for the twisties?
Yes.
Okay.
Yo, this is necessary to mix it really well though, because I've mixed it with a spoon and a knife before. You get
great.
clumps. Yeah, you get clumps. This, no clumpiness.
And if you do it in a shaker cup, that bitch explodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the heat. Yeah, that's dangerous as fuck.
Hope I didn't make you lose your train of thought. I forgot where you were, bro.
It doesn't matter. I'll come up with something.
Talking about how crazy that day was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I oftentimes I'll book multiple things just because a lot of times nothing works out. That's been my experience kind of over the years being somebody who's in this fitness space. I'm I'll book this and book that and book this and book that. And sometimes all 3 of us will look at the calendar and go, oh my God, we got Monday through Friday. We're pretty booked.
Yeah.
And every once in a while something will fall through. But I'm not even afraid to book a bunch of stuff on the same day. And then this Monday, we had a bunch of high level people here that were high level performers outside the gym. And they all followed through. They all showed up. So we had Kalipa here, we had Tom Segura, and we had the people from Bubs. But it all worked out great.
Yeah.
I got to work out with Tom Segura. Everybody got to meet him. I've actually been helping him with his diet and stuff like that now. So that's been really interesting. We're going back and forth a lot. and I'm excited for that. But we also got a great workout in with Jason and with the group of the Bubs people. So it all worked out in the end, even though we were kind of slightly overbooked.
You know, you wonder something with Tom Segura because you can see that he has a good build. Like he used to be bigger, but now he's getting into better shape. He's handsome. He's tall. So what happens if he gets into really good shape? Is he still as funny? I think so.
No, he's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's a funny comic because Chris D'Elia is in pretty good shape, right? And he's been funny. Some people don't like him anymore because of the little thing that happened. But
is he out of that? Is he uncanceled?
He's kind of out of it. He's kind of out of that. Like some people will still mention it, but he's kind of out of that. And at the end of the day, with Chris, they were freshly 18. Not my cup of tea.
Hey, you know what?
But his cup of tea.
Was
apparently.
O.J. Simpson a good football player? He was.
Dog, he killed her, bro.
He was a good football player.
He committed murder.
I know, but he was a good football player. Is Chris D'Elia funny? He's funny.
Very funny.
No.
He's funny.
Does R. Kelly make amazing music?
Stop. That's where you need to end it.
I'm just saying. I am just saying.
Yeah, nah. Oh, my God.
We can keep going. Just keep. That's the goal of this show. Is always to go rolling downhill as fast as we can. With no breaks.
Oh, it is rough because R. Kelly did have some bops. You know what I mean?
See, he fucking crushed it.
And you hear it, and then you start bopping to your head, and you're like, "Wait, he peed on girls." No, pause.
You're like, what the
Switch
fuck's wrong
song.
with this
You
guy?
know what I mean? It's tough. Can you separate an artist from their art? Can you?
I think a lot of artists are gonna. A lot of them are gonna be very, very different types of people.
Flawed individuals.
Than very different types of people than maybe what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have different lifestyles. Watching like the grizzly bear thing or the grizzly man. Do you guys ever see that?
I've heard of it. I haven't
the
watched
documentary.
it. Mm-hmm.
I was watching that last night, and this dude was fucking different. He had like this bleached blonde hair, and he was out in the wilderness trying to like live with bears. Like this guy, like at a certain point, I think he thought he was a bear, and he like wanted that life for himself because he loved animals so much that I think he loved the simplicity of like the animalistic nature of animals. But unfortunately, like it's a fucking bear, you know, and so he. There's a lot of consequences, obviously, that go along with that, and that kind of look how big that fucking bear is. He's getting these shots, by the way. The shots that you see right here, he's getting these videos, and he's within hand's reach of these animals.
How did he die?
He got eaten by a bear.
He did?
Yeah.
Take one guess.
Oh man,
It's not like a spoiler because they talk about it like right off the bat in the movie. They're very early on. They talk about. But anyway, like. Back to your question of like, can you separate out, you know, what somebody does and what makes them somebody that comes to the forefront, somebody that's well known? Can you separate that out from like the way that they are normally? I think you kind of almost have to in some cases because I think that we're human beings and we get pretty judgmental.
Yes,
and we're like, why doesn't that guy believe in God? Why does that guy? You know, why'd that guy have Elon Musk seems amazing, right? But he's also been married like 5 or 6 times. And it's like, who are we to judge that stuff? So can I separate out maybe who the fuck knows what his issues with marriage are, but they didn't work well and he's had to move on to something else. I'm not going to really overly judge him for that, but there might be people that probably do judge him for that. Seems like he's a pretty successful guy. Seems like there's a lot to learn from him. Seems like he's got a lot of good information. Like he's trying to, he sees human beings as being multi-planet species, you know? And so I think we kind of have to separate out some of these different things that people are going to express in their day to day.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like you think about even Tyson,
even your shirt,
right?
You know, I think he had problem with women as well.
Yeah, but it makes you think of like Tyson because Tyson now everybody loves Tyson, but you remember in the past, I think he did go to jail.
He went to jail for sexual, like I guess rape. I guess would be the term. I don't know if that's
if we're
officially
wrong,
what he's booked for, but
somebody in our audience correct us. But like,
and it was to a chick that had falsely accused someone else previously.
Right.
We'll get into that shit in a minute, though.
Yeah, but you see that's
Kobe ended up in a similar situation.
Kobe did end up in a similar situation. I don't know all the details, but I think with his situation, he went to trial, he didn't go to jail, it was settled. But I think they ended up giving the individuals like a lump sum, and it kind of died.
Who the hell knows?
Right. So,
Who the hell knows?
But that's the thing. It's like with a lot of these situations, you don't know what's true. And especially nowadays, I mean, you see it happening with the current trial with the Depp. But I was having a conversation with my girl the other day. I was like, it's tough because we are having a conversation with somebody else that she knows. But it's tough when these types of things are brought up because the narrative currently is you must believe women, right? And especially when somebody is saying something so egregious, you would want to believe that somebody wouldn't lie about being abused or lie about being raped.
Yeah,
but
it seems so harmful to other people that have actually been in that situation.
But we can't neglect the understanding that there are people who will weaponize this because they know that is something that is egregious. That, like, especially with Me Too and everything, that is something that, you know, if you say that about somebody, that could ruin their life. And there are some people out there who are so fucked up that they'll use that against somebody, even though it's a bold-faced lie, as you're seeing with Amber Heard.
Yeah, and with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, I think maybe she thought that he was gonna, you know, open up that can of worms because they weren't gonna be together any longer, and maybe she said it earlier than him. You know, I don't know.
She didn't even. No, this is a wild thing with that case, man. The whole thing, when I think it was 2018 or whatever, pinnacle of Me Too at the time, Amber Heard came out and she did a wild speech. And she's like, it was, when you watch it, it's like super cringy, but she's like, I too have suffered sexual abuse, blah, blah, blah. And it's time for us to rise, blah, 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 right? And then it ends up that she's the fucking abuser.
Right.
She's the one who laid hands. She's the one who threw a fucking bottle at this man's hand and chopped off his finger. She's the one who was the fucking abuser, right? And he didn't fucking touch her. But because he was a man and because of how crazy this stuff can get, Disney canceled all his shit.
Yeah, that's fucked.
They canceled the Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever.
There's enough though. There's enough of those movies.
There's enough of those movies, but still, like he lost multiple contracts with different groups because of an allegation before it was proven. And now in court, you're seeing that this woman is the liar. I'm sorry, this bitch is the liar. She's a fucking liar, and it annoys me because I know people who've done this type of shit. You know what I mean? And it sucks because you want, if somebody comes forward and says something like this, you want to believe them. But in my mind these days, I don't take a side until there's proof and until there's proof behind it, because it could be that this person's telling the truth, but it could be that this person's lying and trying to tarnish this other individual.
It's amazing too that it took from 2018 till now to like people start to go to court over these things.
Yeah, it makes sense what you said though. Like she obviously knew what she did, so she's like, I have to get out in front of it and be the first one to say that he's the one that actually hit me.
The thing is too,
because when he comes back with the defense, no, you hit me. It's like, wait, no, it was the other way around.
Dog, did you hear the audio recordings
No,
of like?
I haven't
Okay,
paid attention to any of it.
This is why this is truly fucked up. There's an audio recording of her on the phone with him saying that, yeah, go ahead and try to say, I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of physical abuse, and see who believes you.
Oh shit.
She said that, and they played that in court. They played it in court, bro. They also played an audio recording in court of her saying, then they were having a conversation, and Johnny was like, you fucking punched me. And then Amber's like, I didn't punch you. I may have hit you. It wasn't with a closed fist. Yeah, I hit you. Okay, are you hurt? Little, like they went back and forth on that. So you know who the abuser is, but that's truly fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
man.
were they able? Like, were they able to like actually play that and use that as evidence in court?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard that when you record somebody and they're not aware of it, you have to throw it out.
Yeah. No, they used all of that shit in court. They used all that, and there's
why is it still going?
Well, she's now on the stand talking about things, but like, man, she's fucked.
It's all really interesting because like I have to admit, I didn't know anything about the situation. Now I still don't know much about it. But it's like, because Johnny Depp is suing her, it like drew more attention to it. Like, I think a lot less people would know about it. I guess maybe the argument from his side and from lawyers' side and people that are in favor of keeping his career going would say, look, all of Hollywood knows about this and we need to kind of clear the air for you to continue to, because you are losing out on money. But also, like, when you're worth $300 million, it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm not in his shoes. So I'm just kind of think like, I just wouldn't want to draw further press to it. So I might try to take the low road and just be like, let me just cruise on out of this. And 3-4 years from now, no one's really going to remember much about this.
He's suing her for $50 million in defamation, and she countersued him for $100 million in terms of defamation. So,
and so imagine thinking in your head, though, like, this is a very irrational thing. Like, the money thing is the thing, right? Like, them suing each other. But imagine, like, does this lawsuit assist him in getting more roles in the future? I would say probably not. It's just dragging himself and her through the mud. Probably not great for either party. Does this court case somehow clear the air of like who he is and how he acts? I don't believe so, because it's like he said, she said. And I don't know how much like real evidence there is on anything. So I would just think that, I'm not in that situation. I have no idea what it would be like, but I would just think that I would rather like just be like, hey, I just don't want to publicize this any further.
Yeah, from what I mean, I could be misremembering, but like he's fucking Johnny Depp, so he can't go anywhere, right? Like he can't go to the grocery store, he can't go to fucking Starbucks. Like people are all over him anytime he steps out of his house. So he has like, I don't know, like several houses in LA. Like he just bounces from house to house. He has houses for a lot of other fucking people. So again, I'm not saying he's hurting for money, but I'm pretty sure they had a plan for his future, and then this really fucks that up. So maybe they're trying to get that back on track because, I mean, you're right. He's worth $300 million, but like how much of that million, is actually available?
Yeah, got to always keep making money.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like right now, apparently, like he does have a lot of debts to pay or whatever. But the crazy thing is they were only married for 15 months.
I didn't know they were married.
They were married for 15 months. 15 months, remember this. She tried in the divorce. She wanted him to pay her.
I love that Nsima knows so much about this. This is like my favorite thing.
$14 million tax-free. That's what she wanted him to pay her.
Like a lump sum?
Tax-free. So like he actually needed to give her like 20, like he actually needed to put forward 20 something million, but she wanted 14 million tax-free. like dog. No, the reason. Do
you think that like Elon Musk and Johnny Depp talk? Do you think like Musk was like, yo,
dude,
like I know that's some good pussy, but like, let me tell you something,
dog. Amber Heard, that must be some good box, because like
it has to
Elon Musk, James Franco, like she's had some other just like wild celebs.
The dudes are like watching the news and watch this court case and they're like, yup.
They're just like, shit, dodged a bullet there.
Dog, you mentioned it before though, devil pussy.
Yeah. The little horns come out.
It's like, hello, higher ground.
I thought that was a landing strip. Those were horns.
No, dude. The reason why, number one, I'm paying attention to this case a lot is because I've dealt with an ex that thought it was okay to lay hands. Right? I've dealt with that before, and I've talked to you guys about this before, but the amount of guys who I know who I never laid any hands or whatever. I never would lay hands on a woman. But you look at me, I'm 6'2", 250-pound black guy. I'm the person who people are gonna think is and I do jujitsu, is the physical one. But I dealt with a woman who I dated for a while, who thought it was okay, and she had her traumas and all that shit in the past. But when things got hairy, she laid hands. And I thank God I have the texts. Because it's like, it's never okay for a man to lay hands on a woman. But I tell you, man, the amount of guys who I've talked to who are like, yeah, I mean, my girl slapped me before, or this and that. It's like, dog, it's never okay for anyone to lay hands on anyone, no matter what. Like, people really need to learn how to bring down situations. Like, it's tough. You know, I know sometimes people yell and whatever, but it's never fucking okay. If you're a woman, it's never okay to lay hands on a guy. If you're a guy, it's never okay to lay hands on a woman. You don't do that shit. But I was in that type of relationship for a while, right? So that's why I'm paying so much attention to this, because if the person I was with ever said something like that, I know that people would believe her because of what she looks like and what I look like. Thank God I have the proof. But at the end of the day, it's like men who don't have the proof, and if somebody accuses somebody of doing something, as a man, you're going to get the shit end of the stick most of the time. Like, you have to be so fucking careful. Number one, you don't be a fucktard and lay hands on a woman. But number two, if you're a man who's ever in a situation with a woman who's actually physically, like, she hits you or whatever, get the fuck out of that situation, because that's dangerous for you, bro. It's dangerous for you.
It's probably just going to escalate. And then you can kind of see, like, oh, well, you know, I had to push her away. And it's like, and then, you know, that's it's it. Then you're physical on them. And, like, I mean, imagine if a woman, like, did hit you for several months, maybe a couple years go by, right? And then one time you get heated too, and you make contact, and you really hurt them. You know, now people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, come on, like, the guy is way bigger, he's way stronger, like, you know, what are you doing that, you know? And it just, the whole thing, like, this case in particular, again, it fascinates me a little bit, because I would think that you would want to just, like, have this thing diffuse. Like, putting stuff in court is an interesting thing. It's not like it exonerates you from anything. Like, he might win money and he might win the court case, but people aren't like, yeah, he's got his shit together. I think people are like, his life's a fucking mess. Yeah. And so is hers, you know? And I think they kind of look at both people as having a different lifestyle than I guess what we're trying to live up to.
The good part of this, though, is, like, because there are a ton of YouTube channels. I think there's this YouTube channel, Law and Crime. Like, dog, I'm watching this shit. There's this YouTube channel, Law and Crime, and a bunch of YouTube channels who are covering this case hard. And public sentiment is by far on the side of Johnny because of all the proof.
Yes.
But the thing is,
that's true.
That's
a good point.
Public sentiment is way on his side. Yeah. People can see that this woman is a wretch.
Which I hate, because now there's a lot of women that do run into problems, that do have men that are abusing them. And if they come forward, they might just be like, well, maybe she's making it up for some reason.
But this is the tough moral aspect of these types of situations. And the tough aspect of the Me Too movement, because after seeing this case, you have to understand that unless there's proof, you can't take a side. It's dangerous to take a side, because when Amber Heard came out with this, people were like, oh, Johnny Depp? Yeah, of course, that cocaine-riddled man, movie star, beats women. And it's not the truth, but that ruined this dude's life. So it's like, now you have to broaden that type of situation and broaden that to all of these people who are putting forward allegations against individuals, man or woman. And you got to be like, as horrible as this is, I can't take a side here. Because again, like, it could be something like this. It could be like, okay, let's say it's someone who's like a boxer, right? And somebody, I'm saying a boxer, I'm not using Tyson as an example, but let's say a boxer is accused of beating his wife, or an athlete that's big is accused of beating his wife. Most people would be like, oh, yeah, look at that. He's definitely doing that in the ring. Of course he's doing that at home. But that might not be the case. Because you hear what Amber said. She said, try saying that in court, Johnny, that I am a victim of physical abuse or whatever. Try saying that in court and see who believes you. People know that when it comes to things like this, the public sentiment is not going to be on your side. So I can just accuse you of something. I could accuse you of something, and people are going to believe me. See how well that airs for you. And understanding that people are really that wretched and really that fucked up that they would do that, you have to take accusations literally with a grain of salt. You have to.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Didn't Mayweather get He went to jail for it too.
Did he?
I believe so.
Shit. I don't know. I know nothing about
Yeah,
that.
because I remember him complaining that he wasn't getting enough nutrition in jail.
Really?
Yeah.
All those you know what I love? People always use inmates
All the time. They did it this morning.
in the podcast. I saw
Yeah, on the chat.
on live chat, people are like, "Look at all these inmates coming out jacked." Like, what was the reason they
I
were
don't
saying that?
remember.
I don't
But
fucking remember, but
obviously about protein, nutrition, carbs, and stuff. And so they were just saying like, well, inmates, they their nutrition isn't that great, but they still come out looking jacked or whatever. And someone's like, well, they're on PEDs. And I'm like, well,
there we go. But a bigger aspect of all this, and I guess this is all this drama stuff, but for the audience, man, I think a big lesson that we can just try to take away, or something that we should try to do, is just learn to communicate well with whoever you're with. Like, I'm blessed that I'm with a person now who I don't yell. It's never been my thing. I don't yell at people, but neither does she. In situations that we've literally gotten in very tense problems, we have discussed it. As in we just talk back and forth. We'll talk. No one's flying curse words at each other. No one's yelling at each other. As tense as it gets, we know that we're both trying to reach a resolution. We're literally not trying to butt heads or fight with each other. It's not an argument. It's like, okay, this is a problem. We're trying to reach a resolution. So we love each other. How about we just talk? And the fact that she has the ability to just talk is so wonderful to me. I have so much peace because I've been with an individual who, if you said the slightly wrong thing, yelling and curse words would fly. And that's not the way I was raised, right? So if anything...
Yeah, how can you grow together? You just can't, I don't think, right?
No, of
if
course
you're not
not.
able to conversate. I think people in general, people are lazy, people are selfish. And when I say people, I'm saying all. I'm including myself. I'm guilty. Lazy, selfish, and jealous. Lazy, selfish, jealous. Put that on fucking repeat. And those are most of the arguments that you'll probably ever get into with whoever it is that you're attracted to. It's somewhere in there, right? And sometimes people are offended, or sometimes people are hurt at what you said or what you did or what you didn't do. And then so if you just think about that, it's like, all right, well, it's just a little conflict. I'm a slob and I left my stuff out, and I'm pretty guilty of this, and my wife, she does clean up after me a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of used to that. My mom cleaned up after me too. I should not put my wife in that situation. I should be more diligent on that side. But why can't we have of course we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to do the fucking dishes. You're out of your mind if you think that's going to happen.
That's woman's work.
That's right.
Get in the kitchen where you belong.
That's right. Get
Andy,
those shoes off.
Andy, this is your joke.
We could talk about her because she's not around for the
She
week.
doesn't even listen to the podcast.
and that,
That's
yeah,
right.
she doesn't pay attention to
That's right,
anything.
Andy.
true.
Get in the kitchen.
Well,
Mark, I'm joking.
I'm like, wait a second.
Andy, I'm joking.
Special guest, Andy.
Andy, he just walks around the corner. Hey, Nsima.
That's so fucking...
But when these situations come up,
If y'all see that I'm never at Slingshot again in about 2 weeks, understand this is the reason why.
just falls through the floor.
Andy has that button where he just falls through
Delete. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think in general, if you just recognize whenever just about anybody's mad at you, it's usually because they're hurt over something. They're hurting, or frustrated, which is kind of similar to some sort of hurt. There's some sort of pain. We say hurt people. There's some sort of pain. There's some sort of angst. There's something there that threw them off. And the frustrating thing is, a lot of times when something does throw you off, that in and of itself makes you mad. And you're like, I don't even know why I'm mad at this point, but I'm fucking pissed. And then it's hard to communicate. And then that's where people don't talk. I think in general, for a lot of men, and I don't know anything about being a woman, I don't know how that would be, but I know for a lot of men, it's like they seem like they react pretty good to some time. Just give it a minute. A dude will go all the way to the point where they don't even need to talk about it. if you give them time. They'll be like, no, I'm cool.
Mhm.
And the girl will be like, no, we should really talk about this. And you're like, no, literally, because sometimes a woman will say they're fine, and then you better fucking start asking more questions because they're not fine.
Nope.
Right. And again, this is generalizations, but
Big generalizations.
a lot of times this is kind of how it goes. And so I think for most men, if you can just take a beat on your reaction to something, like there's really not a lot of reasons to be super fast with a reaction, unless there's like real imminent danger. Like if there's something crazy going on, then yeah, you'll have to react to that to protect family or whatever. But most of the time it's just conversation. And so you don't have to react or overreact. A thing that I like to do is I like to try to see stuff from the other person's side, the other person's point of view. Oh, I wonder what it's like to be Nsima. I wonder why he's frustrated. Why is he frustrated with Andrew? That was weird. Well, let me not be mad at Nsima. Let me actually think, why would he, what's it like to be him, And so I think kind of throwing yourself into some of that in a relationship, I think can be really, really helpful and useful.
And on that note, there's two things. For example, that person that I was with, I want to try and be as vague as possible because I'm not trying to out-admire anything, but that person's been through trauma. That person has been with somebody who did lay hands on them in the past. They've had that experience. So when those things would happen, I understood that, okay, you've been through trauma. This is some of the things that you need to work through. They understood that those are the things that they needed to work through. But, I made the mistake of staying within that situation for quite some time. Like that's not a situation anybody should stay in. But because somebody's trying to work through those things, you make those excuses. I'm thankful for that situation because it helped me understand when I've always questioned, like, God, if somebody's in a relationship where somebody's laying hands on them, why the fuck do they stay? Well, they stay because they understand who this person is outside of those types of situations. Outside of these situations where this individual would get really, really mad, they were a beautiful person. But when they would get mad, shit. And then you have a hope that this person will be able to work through this because they're typically regretful. So you're like, okay, well, they'll work through this, they'll get better, blah, blah, blah.
It's almost a little bit like an addiction, I think, right?
And I'm an enabler.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of an addiction. And because there's that conflict, the opposite of the conflict. And so you're super happy and grateful when there's not that conflict. But there really shouldn't be that much conflict in the first place.
Absolutely not.
I'm seeing a lot of just a ton of relationship stuff. Like it's exploding via like podcasts and social media. There's so much information about relationships. And I hear people talking about like, oh my God, like what do I do? He said this. What do I do? She said that. Let me break some news to you people. Relationships should be pretty fucking easy. You either are interested in each other and you're about each other, and you're in, and
you're willing to do the work.
Yeah,
it's work.
Yeah, or you're in the way. Either you're in or you're in the way. There's going to be friction because you're not the same person. Because like just taking care of your own shit is not easy. And then when you balance in having like a newborn baby, like what Andrew has, along with a teenage daughter, along with a bunch of dogs and shit like that, like
too many dogs,
and a job that's impossible to keep up with because we never stop talking. It does complicate things, but Stephanie fucking loves you and you love her, and you guys don't lose sight of that. Like, I think that's dope. That's at the forefront. That's at the center of everything. She can get mad at you. You can get mad at her. You understand each other, and you're going to continue to move forward. And if there's some bumps here and there, all the bumps are going to do is just launch you higher and higher and higher over a period of time.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. I like what you said about like, newsflash. It should be pretty much easy. And that's absolutely true. Like, previous relationship, it was like, you guys know me, I'm fucking, like, when am I ever going to really raise my voice? Like, I tried to do it on camera and I couldn't fucking do it right.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not me. But
tried it once and threw your back out.
Yeah. But being with somebody that did raise their voice, and then it's like by the end of that relationship, it's like I was yelling back and I was like, oh fuck, this is not me. Like, this is not good. Like, I've been hypnotized, like
how good is that for kids to see too? Like, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, no. Yeah, thank goodness. And then now, like with Stephanie, it's like, dude, just like you and Nsima, like we don't are like, it's so hard to even say like, that we have arguments because like we're literally just two adults having a conversation.
That's what adults should do.
You know, it's weird, but yeah, like we'll have a discussion and then it's like, oh fuck, like my bad, you know, like I'll do whatever I need to do. But like in regards to like the actual work, like, this morning I made my breakfast and I was sitting there and like I can see Stephanie running around like crazy and I can hear Aurelius and I'm just like, fuck, dude, I gotta do something.
Not be a bum.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, so like half of my food was getting cold as I was changing his diaper because she was getting the rest of the shit, ready to go. But it's all rewarding. It's not like, I don't know. It's not like paying a parking ticket where you're just like, fuck, like this just sucks on so many levels. It's like, no, I'm helping, it's helping her out. She's going to smile
Change a
more.
diaper, get a blowjob.
Essentially. That's funny. Okay. So then the give and take.
Andrew's like,
Dad changes the diaper.
Rule. Everyone has that rule in the house. It's like, hey, it looks like your leisure, is a little bit behind. Past due on your bills.
Dog.
Yeah.
But like real talk, man. Number one, like what you mentioned it's people that tend to like yell in relationships, like you figure like they've probably had parents that did that same thing. They're going off of what they've seen as normal. Because to me, like my mom is a disciplinarian, right? But I never really heard her yell. Like she'd be like, Nsima, like she would yell at me sometimes.
I'm terrified of your mother. I've never even met her.
Like she is the most chill person. And in the rare times I was like really stupid to get her mad, it was this nice, calm anger. And I was like,
that's terrifying. Yeah.
Like
bone chilling.
But still.
Did she have a look?
Yeah.
Did she get you?
All the time.
And you were like
you just know. I knew I fucked up once she looked at me. Like she'd look at me with her glasses and she'd just be like, I'd just be like, oh, fuck. Like I knew it. But that's the thing.
I fucked up again.
That's why yelling isn't normal for me. And I when, in that relationship I was in, I'm like, damn, this yelling thing's different. But that's the thing. It's like, do you guys think that there is a situation where two individuals who are in a relationship should be yelling at each other? Like literally yelling? I understand emotions can get high, but when does yelling help you get a message clearly across? Yelling or cursing at a person, if anything, that would just escalate a situation, which is why it makes no fucking sense to me why that's even done. It's done because it's unhealthy communication.
I don't feel like it's effective, although like, maybe like, pounding your fist on the table or like a little something might just show that you care more. But I think you can also just say that. Like if let's say you're arguing about like what school you want your kid to go to because maybe they're struggling in a public school and you want to see if they want to make a change to do something different. You could say, this matters a lot to me because, and you can list out the reasons why. And then you can say, what do you think, what are the negatives? What's the good and the bad of all this? Like, okay, well, maybe our kid's going to be moved away from his friends or whatever the situation might be, right? And you can go back and forth on it, but I don't think it's particularly helpful to start yelling and screaming about something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work that well.
Yeah, no, I would just say outside of sex, it's probably not going to be very beneficial.
Hey, let's go, Andrew.
Because I'm just like yelling, like, well, it's only going to happen then. It's like cursing, it's only going to happen then.
Let's go, Andrew. Laying down some good pipe. Good pipe.
It does help in a relationship, and that stuff's good.
Yeah, and that was one of those things where, like, when I was single, I was just like, dog, if I run across a chick that yells, I know I'm out. Like, like, you can't communicate well without yelling or cursing. Peace. Like you can do that with somebody else.
I've heard people talk about their workplace too, and they're like, "Yeah, I got yelled at," and I'm always like, "What?" Yeah, I'm always like, "Yelled at?" Like I know sometimes it's a figure of speech sometimes, but I'm always thinking, man, like that. I don't know about that. Like that doesn't seem correct. That doesn't seem like a great workplace.
It doesn't, like, because if I started yelling at you, Mark, or you started yelling at me, or I started yelling at one of you guys, like
that'd be so productive.
How? Like it just exactly.
Yeah,
There's no productivity to that because the individual you're yelling at, it's like they're like, oh my, they're probably going to get defensive.
I can see getting animated, and I can see like talking louder, but like literally yelling at somebody. If you're yelling about something, that's kind of a little bit different than it is to like be yelling, directly at somebody. Like you're mad at them. You're directing like your anger. It's quite obvious, you direct your anger at somebody versus we're having a discussion about like maybe we should have a particular person on the show, and someone gets loud and animated because they're just trying to voice their opinion of, I think this would be really great for us, and maybe two other guys are like not really so sure about it, but you're kind of addressing it more that way. That makes some sense. Like to be more vocal, use your hands more, and like try to really communicate what you're trying to say. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost like trying to deal with somebody who's drunk. It's like once you get so angry and you tip the scales, you're like, you're no longer listening to anything I have to say. You are just literally trying to yell at me what you want me to hear. And it's like, dude, no matter, I could easily have rectified all of it. And because you're already too far gone, like you're like, fuck it. We're going all in. I can't come back now.
Dog, bruh.
I know. I brought up another whole hot topic.
No, that's the thing. I've dealt with that shit. An individual drinks too much too. And when they're too gone, it's like, I know when they're too gone, it's like these are just things that are just,
that's an actually interesting thing is like people, I think, choose the wrong time to talk about stuff too. So obviously the person that's drinking like doesn't know what's they want to get into it right then, probably.
Coherent, though.
And they might not remember it. It's also their emotions are, I mean, let's face it, you're intoxicated. Like, so everything you do and say is going to be slightly different, right? You love that shit, huh?
You're still trying to talk on the microphone as it's like over your mouth. I was just laughing.
It's really good, bro. It's so fucking good.
Another cool mug.
Yeah, Vader. But you were saying, they're incoherent.
Yeah, it's not a great time to talk about it. And I've dealt with the same thing with my kids. Like we've all been kids before, and like remember that cry where you can't breathe and you're like crying, you're like you keep doing all that. Like that's not a good time to like it's okay to discipline your kid and to communicate with them that they might be in trouble or whatever. But once that's done, that's not a good time to try to get into like reasoning. Like, they're 5 as well, right? They're super young. Wait until they fucking calm down a little bit. Have a further discussion with them. Say, hey, like I really didn't want you to get in trouble earlier, but you did this and it was super dangerous, and I didn't, or you did this to your brother, you did this to your sister, and we don't do that in this house. I don't like, you got to share, or whatever the fuck it is you're trying to teach in the household. It's got to be done at a different time. Talking to somebody when they're drunk or talking to somebody when they're really emotionally charged up, whether you're at a party or at a business meeting or you're at a bar, it doesn't matter where you are. You might have to say, hey, you want to meet again? Like we should really talk about this further if you'd like to discuss it further. The other thing I see people communicating via text and via email. Don't do that shit. Don't get involved in fucking toxic emails, toxic texts back and forth. Seriously? Don't do that shit. Texting is for, hey, I'll see you at 10. Hey, I'll see you at 9. Or to send your friend a dick pic. Say, hey, how do I size up against you guys?
Yeah.
And then they laugh at you, and you cry, and you cry yourself to sleep, and you do it every day.
And Andrew, that one you sent on Tuesday, you're killing it, brother.
Dude.
Penis pump.
I was like, is that even a real penis?
So did you do that right after you pumped?
If I said yes, does that matter?
Nah. You.
I'm just saying,
You chilling with a fucking
enhanced
fucking log hog. It's fucking crazy what you have.
Log hog.
Yeah, man. It's that Congolese he has in him.
2%.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just a little
bit of Congolese.
Penis pumps. Going to buy everybody a Tesla.
I hope so.
Hey, I still use it like maybe once every. I used it once a week for the past few weeks.
I don't use
but my frequency has gone down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't use the extender one anymore where you put the dick and balls in.
Yeah,
I just go straight for the
dick.
Yeah.
Go straight for the balls.
Yeah, I
still haven't used the one where you stick your dick in balls. Guys, if you're interested in what we're talking about, there's a penis pump link below for the penis pumps that we all use. But yeah, I don't use the dick and ball pump. I use just the dick pump. I wonder
if Muhammad Ali used the penis pump. I wonder if he used one back in the day, like because all the confidence he had.
Nah, Ali just had it, bro.
Oh, he just okay.
You could tell. The man's just walking around with it.
You can see that in people. That's a talent.
That's called BDE, big dick energy.
Oh, so he just had it.
He just had it. I have to try to replicate big dick energy.
Yeah.
We got to work on it.
Got to work on
You
it.
got to get it pumped.
Get your penis pumped. Link below. Not joking either.
No, this
If you
shit's
want your
fucking
penis
legit.
pumped, the link's in the description box, guys. PowerProject family, I hope you guys are doing well today. I want to give you guys a quick piece of fitness equipment lifting history. The hip circle that you see before you is actually the first hip circle ever. All right, there were no booty bands before the hip circle, which is pretty interesting. That's why you see it in gyms like The Rock. We've seen Kim K using it on Instagram. It is the OG, but that's also why we have the slingshots, gangster wraps, knee sleeves, elbow sleeves, everything that you're going to need in the gym so that you can protect yourself before you wreck yourself. So, Andrew, you tell the people how to get it.
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
Andrew, what's the deal with this tomato diet? Are you going on it?
Oh, I'm thinking about it. I mean, summer's coming up, so I'm just like, wait, Kim Kardashian lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks. So I'm just like, okay, so I can be like 175 in like less than a month?
Do you guys want to
Kim
talk
K-
about this in another one?
Did she need to lose weight?
I don't know. We're kind of bullshitting about everything, so I think it's okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. No, so my wife she was telling me that a bunch of people were posting like, on their IG story and stuff, like kind of like enraged because Kim Kardashian went on an all tomato diet to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks to fit in a Marilyn Monroe, like authentic, actual piece of history. Marilyn Monroe
was bad
she lifted
in a good way.
Yeah. But so I was just like, whoa, like that's fucking insane. Can you find me an actual article where it explains everything? So she sent it. And then so I read the article, and what it said was that, yeah, she tried on the dress and it was a little bit too big, and people didn't think that she'd actually get to fit into it. But she's like,
Or too small, rather, maybe. I think you said too big.
The dress was too small.
There you go.
She's perfect, whatever. But the dress was a little bit too small.
Got that ass.
Yes. So she looked at it and she was just like, I could do this. Give me 3 weeks. So she went to town, probably hooked up with Gunnar Peterson, our boy.
As in trained.
Sorry, yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, I speak funny sometimes.
Sorry,
I know, it's
Gunnar.
just,
And Gunner's wife.
today's lingo.
Yeah. So in the article, she was with somebody else, and that person that was next to her was just like, oh yeah, she can put down she can eat a whole lot of tomatoes and do anything that she puts her mind to. And so right away the internet was like, oh shit, she went on this all tomato diet and lost 16 pounds, but she never actually said that.
Yeah.
But what she did say was like, yeah, I was a little bit too big for this small dress. And so I did whatever it took to get into it and lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks. And so like that just, I mean, the rage was like, oh, this is a bad example for young women because, here she is, saying that she went on a crazy crash diet to fit. Oh no, Jesus is messing. Oh, they're 69 kissing.
I think so.
You need to do that.
You gotta
Like,
repent.
dog, like that's you need to do that. Nah.
Oh no.
Nah, I believe in like too much like wild things that I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna
How about Marky Moo's butthole?
Can they?
do that with John Cena. Don't do that. Don't do that with Jesus, Mark. We want you here for a long time. We don't want you to be stricken down by lightning. Okay. So
Can Jesus scissor
with
with
Cena.
John Cena?
Ken, how about Cena scissors with Mark? Don't have Jesus scissors with anyone. Jesus.
I don't know if
is
his legs are
our
long
Lord and
enough.
Savior Jesus Christ just scissors with the cross. Nothing else. Okay.
Isn't that where
he
he
died
died?
for our sins? Okay. Stop it.
You thought this Kim Kardashian thing was too much for this
Stop
episode. Anyway, got me thinking. Like, yeah, like whatever. I've been on some shitty diets too, but first off, she didn't go on an all tomato diet. And it did get me thinking, like, yeah, it would kind of be a bummer to
That's nasty.
if my daughter Jasmine, she's about to be 14 years old, if she sees that Kim Kardashian did all this work to fit into a dress, not for anything else, to fit obviously a big fucking event. She's Kim Kardashian. She has a lot riding on being present at big events and stuff. But a teenage girl's not going to really think about all those other things. She's just going to think like, oh, it's okay to go on a crash diet to fit into a dress for an event.
Though, on the opposite side of things, man. Okay, maybe the way if Kim put dog, she's wealthy. She has trainers in her back that can be like, okay, let's do this in the best way possible. I understand that if people see this, like, I think that, like, okay, we need to put forward personal responsibility because it is tough. You know, not everyone is going to be able to understand the health ramifications of that, and they see that, so they'll think it's normal. For Kim, that's something that she knows how to do. She's probably crash dieted for a bunch of things, and she has enough money and wealth that, like, she's not going to let herself actually get too far out of shape.
Yeah.
But this isn't something that is good for someone in the general population to do, which is why it's good that there are so many fitness influencers and individuals saying, hey, this is an unhealthy thing to do. Don't do this. But I don't think it's wrong for her to have done that, to fit into that dress, because she's with people that know how to make her do it and know how to shed that weight, including some water weight too, because we know it wasn't 16 pounds of fat, right? She's with some people who know how to help her do that.
Yeah. And it's probably also, maybe she just was a little bit heavier than she'd like at that particular moment anyway. And so it was like, gave her, you know, an extra goal. But like 16 pounds is a lot. And it was probably, she might have had 6 or 8 pounds of extra stuff on her that she normally doesn't have. And so she's like, fuck it, let me just figure this out so I can fit into this dress and have these perfect photographs or whatever.
The bro side of me really likes that she was just like, oh, give me 3 weeks and I'll make it happen. So just like on that side, it's like, yeah, she knew, like you said, she knew what it took to get down to that. And it just so happened to be that it took 16 pounds to fit into this dress. But,
you know, when I look at this situation though, it makes me think about like how, like I saw this woman, and Soheili is a really good resource for a lot of fitness stuff, so people should check her out. She made a post about it, and she mentioned it screams toxic diet culture. It is tough for somebody who has such a big platform like Kim. You know, you want to just do something to fit into a dress. You know that, okay, for me, this isn't a big deal. But then she never said she went on a tomato diet. An article said she went on a tomato diet, but she actually didn't, right? So it's not necessarily even her fault. But it's like when we talk about fasting, but now,
I posted a video yesterday that I didn't eat until 4 p.m. People might think I do that every day,
right?
It's like that's a little abnormal for me. I don't even bother to fast every single day.
Yeah, and I'm about to post a video about like fasting pretty soon, and it's like, okay, there are like, this is actually a healthy practice if done in smart ways. You still need to get in your calories. You still need to drink electrolytes, water, etc.
We've been doing this a long time.
We've been doing this for years now, right? But it's like you now have like TikTok and these different platforms, and people are like, oh, fasting's disordered eating. You know what I mean? But no, it's not. When done with the right, when done in the right way, it's not disordered eating at all. So it's like, there's two sides of it where we're responsible with the way we put it forward, but there will still be people that take what we say and do irresponsible practices. And we are not responsible for the actions that those people take. We try to do our best to preface everything and give as much context as we can. But at the end of the day, there are going to still be people that do Kim Kardashian's crash diet, even though they know it's not sustainable, you know. And then those types of people will also say, oh, it's because Kim Kardashian did it. They won't take personal responsibility for their mistake of doing that, right? So it's like, it's a tough one.
And as far as our kids go, like hopefully anybody's household is not set up to where your kid is so wavered by these celebrity people. Like hopefully there's been conversation in the household of like, you know, these are high level people. These are people that have gotten themselves into these certain positions, and they do things that might be a little unconventional or slightly different than what you see the average person do. Because somebody like Kim Kardashian doesn't necessarily have, she probably still has a lot of responsibility. She probably puts in a good work day every day. But she's not like out driving like a FedEx truck for 8 hours every day. So then she's going to have access to like be able to do stuff like this where she can really invest the time into doing stuff like that. So I think, you know, trying to like put it on the athlete or put it on the celebrity is a tough thing. You know, oh, Michael Jordan, he shouldn't have said that, or this guy shouldn't have. You know, I think Michael Jordan had like the thing where he said Republicans buy Nikes too, or something like that. And people just blew up. And Jordan has never said anything fucking he's never said any political statement pretty much ever except for that. And he was halfway kidding around, and people just took it just out of such context. So it's with John Cena and saying that a specific area is a country when it's, or however the fuck it is that he messed that whole thing up.
Oh yeah.
They just we put so much on that, and it's like, man, these are all just people too. And I don't know if we should push everything off onto them. Maybe we should just try to teach our kids the best that we possibly can, and then hopefully the kid can navigate, through life. And hopefully your kid or anybody else's kid comes to you and says, hey, I heard that Kim Kardashian lost this weight. And you can say, oh, okay, well, I actually looked it up. And she actually she has a professional personal trainer. She worked with them every day. She worked out. She had somebody checking in to make sure it was safe and make sure it was reasonable and so forth. And then you can kind of again, educate, I guess.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to say is social media is it's like a dangerous version of that stupid game telephone where it's it's oh, this person posted it, but just because they posted it doesn't mean it's necessarily true, but in that moment it's true, right? Because when I seen, I was like, oh shit, did she really do this?
I thought the same thing.
I went to the actual, one of the many articles that said exactly what she said, and it was like, wait, she didn't do that. So it's man, yeah, you got to be responsible for your inputs. Remember, we've talked about that many times in the past.
And you absolutely cannot believe everything you see off of a news article.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't believe headlines. You can't believe that shit. I was just looking at something today. The New York Times is writing an op-ed on Elon Musk, and I posted it on my story because, so in the New York Times article, it reports that Elon Musk had non-white friends growing up in apartheid South Africa. His own father was an anti-apartheid politician, and he literally left so he didn't have to serve in the apartheid military. But the article still tries to insinuate that he's racist, right? It's it's you got to be careful with what you read on some of these things because they will do their best to plaster an individual with what they feel like they, whatever their views skew. And by the way, guys, you need to check out this guy on social media. His Instagram is eSaagar, ESAAGAR on Instagram. And his podcast is called Breaking Points. It's actually pretty dope because it's a liberal and a conservative, and they go deep on both sides.
I've seen this guy.
Yeah. But it's they have both sides of the political spectrum, and they have good discussions trying to come at it from both. It's not skewed either way. That's why I love his content and I love what he puts forward. That's because cool. You can try to understand where the other side is coming from.
A lot of people like it because they don't. People no longer just. A lot of our younger people don't identify as just being on one side or the other.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't either. I just think it never made any sense to me. It's always kind of boggled my mind that we have such a separation, and then that separation because you're Democrat or Republican means X, Y, and Z about you. I always thought was man, that seems really odd to label ourselves that deeply and to box ourselves up that deeply into something.
Trying to separate us.
Andrew, take us on out of here, buddy.
All right. One last thing.
He came flying in.
For all the couples, go to Showtime and watch this show, Couples Therapy. Watch the show Couples Therapy. It's this brilliant therapist, and you get insights into a bunch of these different couples and the problems that they're going through and how this therapist analyzes things. And it sparked a lot of conversation. Me and my girl were watching it, and every episode we're like, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about this? It's got us thinking about a lot of things. And number two, therapy is a good thing. If you've had trauma in the past, or if you've had parents that didn't communicate well, and it shows itself in the way that you communicate, go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I think at this point in time, therapy isn't stigmatized as something for crazy people because that's how it used to look. That's how people used to think, oh, you're going to therapy? What problem do you have? But especially as adults, therapy is good to be able to sort out a lot of shit you may not know may have been there. So watch Couples Therapy with your significant other. Siggo. Yeah, I said that. I made that up. It's stupid.
Oh, I'm
watch that show.
Start with the abbreves.
It's good. It's real good. All right.
I'm falling apart back here.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for checking out today's episode. Please, I want to hear what you guys have to say about all the different topics that we talked about today. We haven't done something like this in a hot minute. So leave all those comments down below. And please subscribe if you guys are not subscribed, and hit that like button. We would sincerely appreciate it. Also, please follow the podcast at PowerProject on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where you at?
Discord is over 1,000 members. So go join the fucking Discord. We're going bringing up heat in there. At Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Dick pumps are at the description below. Mark, where can people find you?
Pumps.
I found out that my ring finger is like kind of weak. I did some of these chain carries the other day, yesterday. And I could carry the ring pretty good with my pinky. Or I'm sorry, I could carry the chain with my pinky pretty good. And my middle finger and my index finger and even my thumb. Then on the ring finger, it sucked. And it hurt. I was like, I'm such a bitch.
Go get some Captains of Crush.
I know. I need something to get this. This finger needs to get stronger.
You know, since I've been doing that shit with my toes, I've literally been like, you know how they have those things? I just use my fingers.
Pull on your ring finger a little, like quite a bit. Does it like hurt at all?
No.
So try lifting up like the table with your index finger. Go to your middle finger.
Which table?
Just right there, right above you, like right here.
All right.
Right there, yeah. And then go to your ring finger and then feel how different that feels.
It doesn't feel.
Well, you're...
I'll have you try the chain thing in the gym. It'd be interesting.
Steroids.
Yeah, we'll do that. But you know, the interesting thing is because of jiu-jitsu, like, can I do a fist? I can do a fist now. Something happened where like these knuckles are like fatter now, and I couldn't make a fist, but looks like I can make a fist now, so I'm good.
Dude, my hands were like giant water balloons when I was like benching those big weights.
Yeah.
They were so fat. But Mike Israel's hands were fatter.
Mike Israel.
He's a thick boy.
That was a good
chubby
episode.
little guy. Even though he's not really chubby.
He's not chubby at all, man. He's just a ball of fucking muscle.
Too fitty. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Catch you guys later.